Um, so now you've done the whole thing and you've written the ad copy. Now comes the bidding. So share with us some tips about bidding. What's the best way to go about it?
Yeah, usually I'll start with, so if it's a brand new, let's say it's a brand new account and they don't have a lot of conversion signal yet. Um, I would start with maximize clicks or manual CPC because you just need, if there are no conversions in the account, it's a brand new account, you can't start with smart bidding and conversion bidding. You'll just be stuck in this limbo for a while because the algorithm doesn't have anything to learn on. So typically I'll start with manual CPC and maximize conversion and maximize clicks, which it'll start serving to drive some clicks and you can tailor it. And then within, again, usually 1 to 2 months, I'll switch over to smart bidding and use conversion bidding. I'll usually start with maximize conversions. So it's trying to maximize the volume of conversions, in this case, a purchase. And then if I see it's doing well, I'll add in a target cap. So let's say in order for my business to be profitable, I need to be at a 3 ROAS, a 3 return on ad spend. Um, I'll then upload maybe after a few months of running on maximized conversion, I'll say, okay, I'm going to add a T ROAS, a target ROAS on this to try and acquire a 3 ROAS. And it usually does that over a 30-day period, a rolling 30-day period. So you need to give it some time once you switch your bid strategy over. But that's typically what my evolution looks like. I'll start with something click oriented, then move to conversion, and then usually add a target on that conversion, either a target CPA or a target ROAS over time.
Okay. So in this case, when you say conversion, it's click through, right?
And in the beginning, it will be a click, and then when I move to maximize conversion, the conversion will be a purchase.
So conversion is actually a completed purchase.
It is, yeah.
I see. Okay. So at the beginning, you're chasing for clicks, and then you're switching to conversion, and then you're putting a target on it. So it's a three step process. And
Correct.
how much time? So you mentioned maximum clicks about 2 months.
Yeah, again, it depends on budget. I'd say on average, it's usually around 2 months. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And then how about the conversion time
Once you
based?
have a, if you have, if you're generating a healthy amount of conversions, let's say around like 20, 30 conversions at least per week, you can make that switch and maybe only expect about 3 to 5 days of volatility as you make that transition period.
Okay. So first, shoot for maximize clicks, then shoot for maximize conversion, then put a cap on it. So obviously, you are also building up some history of other keywords, and then your bidding history, and it starts to optimize. So I'm seeing here fairly similar to. So what I do is so. Let me ask you this question. It's very hard to answer. Okay, nobody can
Oh,
answer this question. It's just based on experience, and the goal is to set the right kind of expectations. So when they spend money on Google, you mentioned the minimum is like 2,500, 3,000, but really you would like 5,000. So uh, how much can they expect to generate with that kind of ad spend at the beginning and month one, month two, month three?
Um, I would say around a 1 ROAS or below. You're not going to hit. I mean, I'd say again, I'm using probability here just with the handful of accounts I've worked with over the years. You're typically in your first month, if you're a brand new account, you're installing the pixel from scratch, you're not going to see above a 1.52 ROAS. You're going to be around 1 or sub 1 for that first few weeks. Yeah. And I always say that. I say your first 30 days is your testing period. We're not looking to make conclusions on the data provided in the first 30 days. We're not looking to hit performance goals in the first 30 days. I always set that expectation. Month two, day 30 to 60, then we'll start to make iterations and learnings from that first 30-day period. And then by day 90, that 2 to 3 month period, then we'll only be running with our winners. Like, if we're running a few different keyword themes to test, and then that's when we should start to evaluate at the end of month three. We've run with our top performers for 30 days. Now let's see what we can do. We've established a new baseline now that we're only running with the top performers. And then we'll try and scale with those top performers and see, does our ROAS hold? Does our click-through rate hold? Does our CPA hold? Yeah.
Yeah. So on month 2 and month 3, your ROAS starts to get better, right?
On
Or
average, yeah. If you're actively managing it, yes.
and what do you usually as a just as your ballpark, what do you get on month 2 and month 3?
Um, Typically it's based on goal. So I'd say on average, your standard e-commerce company is looking for around a 2.5 ROAS to break even. And typically, if you're north of a 2.5, you're somewhere in the profitability zone. So I am almost always trying to get to at least a 2.5 ROAS by month 2 or 3.
Okay. So you know what I say to my clients with Amazon? Because this is at the end of the day, you know what you do. You don't
Yeah,
know. You can't just you don't know until you have some history. And of course, to build that history takes time, and time
yeah,
means money. They have to keep spending. So, and a business owner is not thinking that way. Business owners, okay, how much do I have to spend? What do I get for it? So that's what they're thinking. So what I tell people is, look, do not take these uh, numbers to the bank. Do not expect that this is going to be precise, but this is what I always say. First month, get expect to get $1 for every dollar you spend in advertising.
one row.
On month 2, expect to get $2 for every dollar spent in advertising. And on month 3, expect to get $3 for every dollar spent in advertising. And after that, you can expect to make it better and better and better. And if you set your expectations this way, then and I say you have to be spending at least $5,000-6,000 a month. So that's your budget, that's your expectation, that's what you have to be ready for. Now, what I am relying on to deliver these numbers, and we always deliver, we always over deliver, is something that Google does not provide, and that's the organic traffic. So, because you see what happens, they are actually being set up when they buy into this argument for a complete win on my side, because I am telling them for every dollar you're going to get one sale, and for every dollar you're going to get two. But what about the organic? We also bring the organic, right?